This actually looks like it's in the mallow family. But that's never grown in my woods before, so I'm not certain if it is or not. That is probably enchanter's primrose. I used to eat it because it looks a lot like, it's related to evening primrose, and it tastes the same. But I quit eating it because I couldn't find any toxicity studies. Here's another smilex plant. I got about 3 different types on my property. And there's my dame's rocket. See, the flowers are getting ready to come on. It's pretty tasty. I like the taste of it. Hey, I wanted you to see the flower of the mayapple. Really pretty flower. Beautiful. Poison ivy. When I see it, or poison oak, I bury it under leaves. I've about got it killed off doing that. This is the Angelica. I said I'd show you the difference. You see right here on the stem? That shows you it's not bishopweed. And Angelica will kill pain and relax you and reduce histamines and inflammation, but it has an alkaloid that can build up in your body, so you wouldn't want to use it all the time. And there's my mullein. It's doing awesome. You can tell it's related to cabbage. See how it's shaped? And see how fuzzy the leaves are? Tastes like cabbage too. And that's my boneset. I don't know why it come up there, because I did not plant it there. And there's Fleabane again. The flowers are hot if you eat them. And you can see the broadleaf plantain, that one with the purple on the bottom. Oops, excuse me, just ate. The one with the purple on the bottom, it's the tastiest, sweetest, and it's doing pretty good, but it looks like the bugs are getting to it. And there's narrow leaf plantain. See, it's starting to get its seed heads on it. Sure, if I covered this. This is Canadian thistle. It'll get little purple flowers on top, and if you eat the roots, they'll make you gassy. Those little jaggers hurt. If you eat the leaves, you got to make sure you cut them off. And it kills all kind of pathogens. I love it. It makes me feel great after I eat the leaves or drink tea made from the leaves. You can see my daisies are starting to get flowers. Yay! Okay, this is Joe Pye. A lot of people know it as gravel root. See how the stem is? And it'll get really pretty purple flowers. Oh, another thing about gravel root, it's good for urinary tract infections, Lyme disease, but it has an alkaloid that can build up in your system, so you wouldn't want to use it every day. There's my goldenrod. You can see it starting to come up, looking pretty good. This is wild geranium. Beautiful, good for getting rid of head lice, crushing it up. It works for hemorrhoids. I've never seen anything on consuming it though, so I wouldn't consume it. Here you can see where there's poison ivy right by the cleavers. You got to be careful, because you do not want to eat that, or the violet even. And you've got to watch the roots on poison ivy. Can go like 20 feet away from the plant. And I ate a root without washing it one time, and that happened to me. There wasn't any poison ivy near it, but a root had run across under its root, and it really messed me up. So be careful when you're foraging. And remember, if in doubt, don't. This is the flowers of a crabapple tree. They can get thorns kind of like a hawthorn, but not as bad. And my uncle would put these crab apples, they're really sour, but he'd put them in his jelly and it made them taste fruitier. It was almost like you were picking the berry off at a bush. His jelly was so good. Buttercup, never eat that. Very poisonous. This is most likely St. John's wort. It's a little bush. It'll grow into a big bush someday. But it sure looks like St. John's wort. Now that's my wild sarsprarilla. And the reason I keep showing you the plants at different stages is so you can learn not to identify and not to walk on the plants when they're younger. And I try not to step on plants anyways, but especially ones that you can use. Look at that, my dame's rocket, the flowers are on. They're pretty. Tasty too. Right there's another type of smilex, and if I'm right, this one gets a really bad bristle on it. It really hurts if you touch it, but it tastes good. I've eaten the leaves. My dad claimed you could eat the root. Never tried it. Okay, here's an example where I would not use the root of this smilex plant right here, because it got poison ivy growing right by it. I would not want to chance it. It would mess me up. And this should be Japanese berberine, but you gotta be careful. Those can be really invasive and overtake things. I found that on my neighbor's property. What I forgot to say is that berberine is really good for you. They usually use the root. It's my boneset when it's young. It gets pretty flowers on it when it gets older. Daisy Fleabane. Wow. I mentioned earlier, them flowers are really hot. Okay, I had to do this just because it's cool. This is a tomatillo after it's rotted. Best delivery system for seeds I've seen. It'll blow across the ground, and as it's rolling, the seeds drop out the end. That was so cool.